Here we go.
What's up?
That would have been a perfect time for the air horn.
What's up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome back to another live episode of With a Fanboy podcast show on YouTube and somewhere
In your
else.
ears.
In the ear holes. My name's Luke. This is Mr. Tyler.
I am Mr. Tyler, and to my right, as always, the beautiful Brett Eitzen.
I'm just glad.
That feels way more natural than going to you.
I'm just glad that we're in people's ear holes tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Or this morning, or this afternoon, whenever you're listening to this.
Maybe wade into the future.
Whoa. You're going
Maybe
to blow
in
my
the
mind,
past.
Luke. But yeah, we're back. It's another week.
I don't know what that noise was. A satisfied sigh.
Unfortunately, there's the story we talk about later is not a very satisfying story.
Oh boy. We like...
There's a lot of unsatisfying stories.
We will run the gauntlet of happy to
Pissed.
furious anger, wrath of...
Speak for yourself.
I don't think I'll hit that point.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I'll get
I'm
there
not talking
for you.
you.
I'll get
though.
there for you.
Oh, thank you.
And I'll eventually get there by proxy, I think.
Absolutely. Wouldn't have it any other way.
I guess I can fake it so we can all be mad together.
That'd be great.
I'll do my best.
My favorite part is never mind, we'll talk about it later.
What we should do...
Oh, not yet?
No, I'm not mad yet.
What we should do is talk about what we did this week.
I'll go first.
All right.
Okay.
Because I probably did the least amount of stuff.
Makes sense.
This is like the third episode ever that's happened.
I played so much Destiny this week because it was Iron Banner week. And I wanted to unlock stuff. And since it goes faster in Iron Banner, that's really
That's
all
the way
I did.
to roll.
Makes sense.
But
Logical.
the new thing that I did this week that isn't a new thing for everybody else is I watched season 2 of True Detective. I watched season 1 as well. I'd seen that way back in the day. That's one of my favorite seasons of TV, I think.
Yeah, it's good.
It's so well done. It's so interesting, and it's creepy as heck. I love it.
I've never watched True Detective.
You will love it.
Yeah.
Guess what I might
At
do?
least you'll love the first season. The second season I've heard a lot of backlash about it, and I fully understand now. I would put that in the list on somebody's list of how to not make a TV show. Just an absolute waste of time. Nothing changes from episode 1 through episode 8, except for some people die. There's no resolution whatsoever, and it was infuriating. I've heard really good things about season 3, so I'm excited that that's not what it goes out on.
Yeah.
Also watch Fanboys with you guys.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. I'm excited to hear what Brett thinks about everything with that.
Did you enjoy it as much the second time?
I think I enjoyed it more,
Nice.
mainly because we've gotten 3 more movies
Yeah.
since I saw it last time.
That is my third time watching Fanboys.
That is, if you're a Star Wars fan and haven't seen Fanboys, you should check it out.
Yeah. Highly
It's
recommend.
like $6 on Amazon for the Blu-ray. It won't break the bank. It's worth it.
That's probably what you'd pay to rent it somewhere, so
Probably.
Yeah.
might as well get the
buy
Blu-ray
it, yeah.
version, right?
You don't have to subscribe to a streaming service and then buy it either. So
That's
cool.
right.
We're not bitter.
No, definitely.
Not even a little bit.
Definitely not.
I'm so mad. Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Ah, darn it.
Later.
Hold off.
Give me a cue.
A little bit longer.
It's
Was that
the
it?
air horn.
That's it.
Okay. Cool.
I'll
Tyler?
I'll jump in. I think
we'll
you
just
did
go down the
list
line.
this week. So I will start. I'll save my movie review for the end here. So I finished another book. It is called Sleeping Giants, part of the Themis Files trilogy. It's about a girl who finds a giant robot arm, and they end up finding a whole body across the world and building it. And I'm now reading the second book called Waking Gods, and another robot has teleported to Earth.
Oh boy.
And has leveled London. And they are taking the robot they've put back together to go fight it.
Dope.
So we're full Pacific Rim here. It's awesome. Tons of fun. I played World War Z on Xbox this weekend. I tried out just the first level.
Is that based on the movie/book?
Yeah, it is. I mean, everything operates the same. All the story is the same. Yeah. But it reminds me of Left 4 Dead. It's kind of how it plays, but it's third person. I'll talk more about that as I play it. But I had like 30 minutes to spare. I downloaded it and I was like, I'll give it a try. Played the first level and I was like, this is actually really cool. So I'm excited to dive more into that. I maxed out the battle pass on Apex Legends.
Nice.
I had not done that in a previous season, so I felt like it was worth mentioning. I too watched Fanboys.
Freaking Simon the Podcat loves to just
Let's get his yoga pose, man.
leg straight up in the air every time we record.
Yep, it's that time. So, I also played, and I wanted to talk to you guys about this because I've played the latest and greatest battle royale there is on PlayStation 4. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about Fall Guys. Have you guys seen this game?
I have seen this
A
game.
little bit, yeah.
It is a physics-based party game where you start with 60 people and you have to qualify through a series of events to make it to the end. And if you make it to the end, you have to try to obviously win the final event. I have not won yet. I think I've only made it to round 4. It's pretty challenging. But it's a lot of fun. It's really stupid. You laugh a lot.
Yeah.
My favorite part about it, I think, is that I can play it with Dana, and her and I can just take turns, and it provides plenty of laughs. I think the most annoying part about it, and this is the biggest con I have, 2 cons, sorry. Griefers. People will stand at the finish line and not let you finish the race. That's really annoying.
Ew.
And then the other thing is there are events. It's usually rounds 3 and 4. You have to play a team game.
Okay.
And if your team wins, you move on.
But you're not a team the rest of the events.
No.
Okay.
So it's really annoying because, like, you can get bad teammates who don't really care.
Right.
And you'll never win. You'll never make it past that round because you'll lose every single time.
Man, that'd probably be me.
It's so frustrating. But all in all, it's a lot of fun. It's free on PlayStation this month if you have PlayStation Plus. So I would definitely recommend picking that up just because it's a streamer's gold mine right now.
Nice.
So I saw Gary Whitta streaming it, and it convinced me to play it because it was hilarious. But now for my big ticket item, I watched 2018's Sorry to Bother You. This was a movie I think we've all talked about on here before that none of us had watched. And I woke up Sunday morning, and I felt like watching something I hadn't seen before.
I approve of that strategy.
Yeah, so I went to all the streaming services on my phone while I was still in bed, and I was like, man, that doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound good. Sorry to bother you. I've been wanting to watch this one for like 2 years. I'll check it out. It's written and directed by Boots Riley, who cannot confirm this, but from what I understand, he is pretty pro-communism, and this is a satire on capitalism. So, as you can imagine, it's a pretty weird movie. Stars Lakeith Stanfield and Tessa Thompson, Armie Hammer, Danny Glover. There's a lot of people in this one. It's so I haven't. You see in my notes. I didn't put a rating next to it because I don't know how to rate it because I don't think it's for everyone. It's pretty. It's pretty uncomfortable. Like, it'll make you uncomfortable at times. The way it talks about capitalism, slavery, the way black people are treated in society. It really pushes those boundaries. Lakeith Stanfield, A+. I just give him whatever role he wants. He's gonna absolutely crush it. I don't know how he is in Uncut Gems. And he's pretty limited.
It's great.
Is he limited in that?
Yeah, he's great. He doesn't have as much to do, obviously, but he's good.
It was just that I did not know it was him, and I had just seen Knives Out as well, and they're just complete opposite roles.
Oh yeah.
And to see him do that was really incredible.
Yeah, he's seriously so good. Tessa Thompson's really good in this too. She plays the weirdest characters. But just to give you like a little bit of a rundown, if you've never heard of this movie, Lakeith Stanfield plays a character named Cassius. He is looking for a job, so he goes to an interview for a telemarketing company. he gets the job by lying on his resume, and it's like the ultimate, like, I lied on my resume and it turns out the guy who's interviewing me was actually at the place I lied and said I worked at story. Like, it's so ridiculous. But he gets the job, and that's when it just starts to go in weird directions. And so there are tiers to this job, and if you make it to the next level, you start working for these people closing multi-million-dollar deals where they sell basically slavery to big companies.
Oh, boy.
And so he makes it to that next tier, and that's when he finds out that there's this huge conspiracy going on, and I'll save you that. But what to expect from this movie, there are pictures that change throughout the movie.
You really have to be paying attention.
It's so weird. Yeah, and there's like that. There's so many little things. Like anytime Cash is doing something that his father, who's passed away, wouldn't agree with, he has a picture of his dad that's always in the background of his office. And if he does something wrong, the picture will have his dad with a thumbs down. If he's doing something right, his dad will be like, yeah, like celebrating. And so it's really fun to kind of watch that because you feel the ebb and flow of where Cash is as a character. I'm going to talk about one more thing. The coolest effect in the movie, when he makes a call as a telemarketer, it drops him into that person's house. So like the scene is like he's sitting at his desk talking to them, and they're sitting across from him, but he's on the phone.
Right.
And it's just a really cool effect because like one dude he calls is like taking a dump, and like he like helps him out, like hands him toilet paper or something. It's so goofy. It's got just the right amount of comedy, and I would be a failure if I didn't mention Armie Hammer. The dude is meant to play Wall Street douchebag, and he's so good at it. He's so good at it. Highly, highly recommend it if you're an Armie Hammer fan.
Should watch Man from U.N.C.L.E.
I should. I will give this a fanboy worthy because if you're into this kind of movie, I think you're going to enjoy it. However, if you do not like satires or movies that are just really off the wall, you
Take a
won't-
pass.
Yeah, just don't watch it. You won't enjoy it. But all in all, I loved it. I think Lakeith Stanfield should play the Joker next. I'm in on it.
Dope.
I'm in on him to play anything he wants. Give him Batman. I don't care.
Cool. No, that's awesome. That's one that's on my list now, especially that it's been on my list, but I think it's moved a little
it was
closer to the top just based on your review there.
I wouldn't base it on that review. I rambled, but it seriously is a lot of fun. I highly recommend it.
Cool.
I think you would like it.
Yeah, I'm
And
sure
I think you
will.
would also like it.
Yes.
The scene where he like runs into that dude and he's like, "I hope your month is filled with pleasantries." Like
I have seen that scene.
they're like insulting each other, but they're being really nice about it. That scene is literally everything it's cracked up to be. Also Steven Yeun's in
Isn't
this.
that Daniel Kaluuya in that scene?
No, it's he's a fairly
I'm thinking of somebody else.
newer guy. He's good though. But Steven Yeun's in this, and he's really freaking good. He kind of plays like this dude who organizes unions at chaotic workplaces, and he's good. He's a really weird character, but I'm trying to think of that guy's name because he's Jermaine Fowler is his name. He's really good. But Terry Crews is in it. Danny Glover, Steven Yeun, Armie Hammer, David Cross, Patton Oswalt, Forrest Whitaker's in it. Oh,
Good cast.
I didn't realize Rosario Dawson was one of the voices. She's the elevator voice. It's weird, but it's so worth watching.
Cool. That's awesome.
I'm gonna watch it again.
Well, I did quite a few things this week. First off, I would be remiss to not mention that Luke and I played some Apex. I finally got Luke.
We use
back.
that. We played. We'll use that loosely. I
Can't
ran
believe
around
I
for a
wasn't
bit.
home for this.
Man, I haven't played much Apex this season. It's so good.
It's in such a good place right
I
now.
forget
Man.
just how good it is.
I have not played Apex in several months.
Yeah.
And I've been playing lots of Destiny.
Took you a while to...
I never got used to it. I was constantly meleeing on the wrong button. I was trying to hover when I was jumping. It was a mess. It was a mess. I was doing so bad.
Did it feel fast?
No.
I always think Apex is just a little bit faster than every other shooter.
I guess the shooting, kind of feels
We
fast.
played pretty slow, though.
Yeah.
We
and
weren't
also,
real aggressive.
when I play Destiny, I play pretty fast.
Yeah.
I use my special jump to really move around the map a lot.
Yeah.
What characters did you guys use?
I was kind of all over, but primarily I like Bangalore a lot. Although I think on our win, I was Lifeline.
I was Wraith when we won.
You were Patty Spivot?
Yeah.
Nice.
I normally play as Pathfinder, though.
Pathfinder's fun. So other than that, Stephanie and I continued our trek through the Batman movies.
Yes.
And I think we're through the desert at this point. We watched Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin. And I think time has not helped these movies in my mind at all. I remember them so much fonder than...
Those first two are 90s movies.
Yeah, I forgot how Tim Burton ones are. And once Schumacher really got his hands on it,
Release the Schumacher cut for
No.
Batman Forever? You on board?
Nope.
You don't want the
I don't
darker
want that.
extended version?
I don't
Sign
want
the
that.
petition, Brett.
You
No.
don't want to see that big bat that he hugs in his
So for Batman
nightmares?
Returns and Batman Forever, I'll give both of those Matthew McConaughey's. I think it probably previously would have, in my head, been like, oh, those are fanboy worthy for sure. They're not good. They're not the worst, but they're not that good. And then Batman and Robin gets a straight to streaming for me. Every time they suit up, it's like butt shot, belt shot,
Love it.
nipple shot.
And then they have to run through the spotlight.
At the end. Oh, yeah. And it has so many puns.
It's
I really
perfection.
want to watch
So
that
many
one with Dana
puns.
because she's not seen any of those.
Any of the old ones?
She's never seen the Keaton one.
It was so funny. Stephanie, at the beginning of this, Stephanie was like, I don't think I've seen any of those old ones. Every time we started a movie, she's like, oh, I kind of remember this one. She had seen all of them and just could not remember.
I mean, I don't. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Now in your Batman marathon, are you going to watch all of Batman the Animated Series and Mask of the Phantasm and Batman Beyond?
And then Gotham. And
Batman
then...
Begins is next.
You could watch...
I freaking love that movie so much.
If you want to add a great one to the list. There's lots of great animated Batman movies. Phantasm is fantastic. Under the Red Hood is fantastic. And Dark Knight Returns, which is a
Parts 1
two-parter,
and 2, yeah.
are fantastic.
Good to know.
And I'm guessing you guys haven't seen those. So
No, we haven't watched much
guys-
animated.
yeah, we've...
You guys all over that.
Yeah.
Me and Stephanie, not so much. So yes, Fanboys also. This was my first time watching Fanboys. I love this movie.
Right?
It's so fun. I will say that some of the comedy, and I think this is just Ernest Cline and being trapped maybe in early 2000 comedy land. It
doesn't age.
It hasn't. Some of that hasn't aged well. Like there's some like kind of homophobic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And just it. Like we're past that, and I get that this was. I mean, it didn't come out that long ago though. 2009.
Yeah.
Still. Other than that,
it's 11 years ago.
Fantastic. Great cast, fun little adventure. As some of the biggest Star Wars nerds, it was just. It's just fun.
It's a great time.
I knew all of the little quiz questions that.
Oh yeah, they didn't make those hard.
They didn't
enough.
make them very hard.
Come on, Ernest Cline.
Do
You
better.
better.
But I'll give that
Then he did too much
one
of it
a
very
fanboy worthy. I think that one earns a solid spot on the shelf of.
I love it. You gonna buy it now?
Are we gonna put a shelf up that has all of our fanboy worthy movies
Oh
on it?
man, if we put a shelf up, I'll bring Fanboys and put it there.
The fanboy worthy shelf.
Or just
Or
we,
the Booyah
of the
shelf.
we can
or
have
something.
a shelf
Yeah,
that has
there we
10
go.
of like each, so we can put the dumpster fires on there. And if we're really feeling sad,
Do we
we just
own
take
it-
it off. We throw it in the dumpster.
Do
We
we
can watch it
own
burn
any
for a bit.
dumpster fire movies?
Batman and Robin, I think, is a dumpster fire, and I love it.
Sounds good to me.
I would not recommend that to anybody.
So I
Unless you
watched
hate your life.
Me.
I watched a couple new things as well. I was really on HBO a lot this week. So first off, An American Pickle. This is Seth Rogen's new movie on HBO where he plays two characters. He plays a 1920s version of himself who gets trapped in pickle brine for 100 years.
He gets pickled.
He gets pickled, and he comes out at the same age he goes in, 100 years later, and meets his great-great-grandson. And this is just a delightful little movie. I don't know if it's just because I've been watching a lot of serious stuff, but this was just a nice little, like, oh, this is kind of fun. I think it's a little choppy, especially during the second act. They try and do a lot. And the main character, Herschel Greenbaum, that's the older version of the character, Seth Rogen's character. And then Ben Greenbaum is the techie who's trying to make an app type of thing. Yeah. Got a big check from his parents right out of college to start his own, business. And
Silicon Valley.
Lives in a pretty nice New York apartment, but has been working 5 years on this app and is kind of a failure, but doesn't really want to admit it.
He's a lazy guy.
Yeah. Some other positives. I think that when those two characters are together, if the movie is just hitting all the right notes. Like, he can act against himself so well.
I just imagine that's so hard to do.
I would think so too. He, in one of I don't know if it was an interview with Variety or some news publication, he gave a lot of credit to his stand-in, who he was just like, man, it's an invisible role, but it wouldn't have been as good without him in it.
That's awesome.
So it's always cool when you find collaborators that really make the process work.
Mm-hmm.
He directed and wrote this too, right?
I do not know about that. I think it's based off of something.
I'll check. You keep going.
I think it's based off a novel. Anyways, there's a lot of really fun stuff. Like, Herschel comes back. He doesn't have anything, and Ben is kind of this, like, high and mighty kind of character who, he's kind of a loser, but he doesn't really want to believe it. But he thinks he's so much cooler now that he has someone to impress. And
So he's like every person
right. Oh,
that
for
nobody
sure.
wants to admit to.
Yeah. But Herschel goes and, like, starts his own business right away and becomes super successful and kind of like a little internet, like, star, and he can't even get his app sold. And so there's really fun dynamics there.
That's great.
I do think the moments when it's just Ben by himself, it's a little slower and a little he's not as good when he's not riffing off of a funny version of himself. But what'd you find out, Tyler?
It's written by the guy who wrote Inside Out.
Oh, cool. I can see that. But it does have a lot of heart. Kind of circles back to family, the idea that they both kind of don't have anyone in their life, and they
Simon Ridge
gotta
wrote it.
find each other. There's also some, religious undertones where, like, Herschel is very Jewish and very into his religion, and Ben's kind of the, like, modern. That was something for my parents, but not me. And those dynamics, how they clash, it's really heartfelt in that there's still value in, kind of looking at what we believe and what each other believes and respecting it. So I give this, like, a high Matthew McConaughey. I don't know if it's quite fanboy worthy. It does have a little bit of a production value. Like, it was obviously not made for a ton of money. And so sometimes it kind of looks like it's maybe like just a TV show versus like a cinematic experience, but it's not anything that's bad enough to knock it down a lower tier for me. So yes, American Pickle, Matthew McConaughey. I recommend it. It's quite enjoyable.
Check that one out.
Yeah.
I almost watched it.
I did too, and I chose Sorry to Bother You instead, but I was definitely close.
Yeah. Something else I watched this week was The Swamp. This is a brand new HBO documentary about the government, U.S. government, Congress, the whole premise of it is based around that idea that President Trump made this promise to drain the swamp, and what does that look like in in reality? And so the documentary follows 3 kind of self-proclaimed Republican rebels. Like, they don't quite adhere to what the Republican Party, like the doctrine of the Republican Party. And that's Matt Gaetz. He's a House member from Florida, Thomas Massey from Kentucky, and Ken Buck from, I want to say Colorado. I think it's Colorado. And they're all at kind of different stages of their career. Matt being like very young, very new. Ken being, he's been there for a long time. And it's interesting just how they portray what is it like even for them to try and get stuff done in Congress, and what is the real problem with American politics. And there's kind of this through line, and I think it's still worth watching even if I kind of tell you this, that it doesn't really matter who we put in the White House, because Congress itself is so broken that that's why nothing gets done.
Is this a doc?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a documentary.
I did not think that was what it was going to be at all when you mentioned
This is not
earlier,
Swamp Thing.
Swamp. No, I was like, it's probably because I watched True Detective all week, and I'm thinking, murders in the swamp of Louisiana, ooh, voodoo.
Yeah. I don't know if
I guess it's almost the same.
Yeah.
No.
I think it does a pretty good job of humanizing I would say someone like, depending on what side of the political spectrum you fall on, someone like Matt Gaetz stirs a lot of controversy. So he's either like, oh my gosh, that guy, or he's like, oh yeah, like finally someone who's like trying to stick it to the man. I think it's interesting just to see, he's the one they follow the most, and how he works with certain senators and representatives across the aisle, and some of the stunts. And they follow, the timelines kind of starts in late 2017, early 2018, and go up till just like right at the beginning of the coronavirus. So early 2020 is kind of where it ends.
Is the timeline as confusing as The Witcher's?
No.
That's good.
Much more linear than The Witcher's timeline. But yeah, I don't know how to recommend this. I guess if you don't like politics, it's probably not going to do anything for you. If you're mildly interested in how things work,
Watch the Discovery Channel show how things work.
I don't really have a rating for it. I guess quality wise, it's probably like a Matthew McConaughey. It's well made. I'm just not sure it has much to say other than this is like, things are broken, and we all know that already. So, my last thing I watched. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I did so much this week.
This is good that I didn't do anything.
I guess so. The last thing was the season finale of Perry Mason. This is HBO's crime noir courthouse drama. It's based on a like a TV show from the 1960s maybe.
Sweet.
It's quite old.
I'll believe you. 1960.
In my research, it kind of made it sound like the show that I can compare it to is Matlock. Kind of that, like, every week 57. There's a 50s.
57.
You lied. You liar.
Man, my bad.
I'm so mad. Is that right?
No, not yet.
Darn it.
But it's kind of based off a courtroom drama show, but they've gone and they've kind of made this Perry Mason's origin story, how he becomes a lawyer, a defense attorney, and honestly, this is maybe my favorite show this year.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, like this one kind of surprised. Like, it started off hot. Like, the first couple episodes are real good, and then you kind of like settle into this okay, it's not long, it's 8 episodes, but it gets kind of into this rhythm of, okay, we're learning a little more, things are changing with characters, but we're not moving anywhere real fast. And then the last 2 episodes are like, oh, all right, here we are. Let's see, what did I write down here? Cast is stellar. I think they all shine really bright without diminishing each other. And it's a big cast. So
This is the Matthew Rice show? Okay.
yeah, and he absolutely steals it. But
He's great. He was awesome in The Americans.
But everyone else, like, right there with him.
Awesome. And yeah, I love how HBO and Amazon, I feel like, do this. They're like, 8 episodes is enough, and it might be less.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't ran into that problem with.
Yeah, this did not feel too long of a show. Like, I appreciated that they didn't probably try and stretch this out till 10 episodes. And they maybe could have with some of the content. I think some of the side story threads do kind of just get like, oh, we didn't really resolve that, but that's fine. It's okay. We don't.
As long as something's resolved.
Well,
nothing happened in my show.
Yeah. That's that's true. I said a couple of the plot lines kind of fizzle out, but because of where the characters end up at, it doesn't feel like there was like a wasted opportunity, because the characters that were still a part of those storylines, where they end is still great. There's like, oh, there's probably more meat in there that we just didn't see. And not necessarily details in that I don't understand it. It's just that they spent so much time in the early episodes on it, and then not nearly as much time in the later episodes. They kind of rushed that, season 7 of Game of Thrones style. Just kind of
Nice.
Get to the point. I think it might be. It's got beautiful visuals, art direction, cinematography. I said it's probably the best looking thing I've seen all year, movie or show. It 1930s is when it's set, so it's not like it's heavy in like the
Add to your list.
No, I'm just looking at the shows that I've watched to see what's on top for me.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it has a ton of CGI. I know it does, because obviously they're recreating a lot in CGI, but it moves a lot. It's set in Southern California or Northern California.
1932 LA.
LA, yeah. And so like it does, like they get outside of the city, so you see some like ranches and things like that. It just has a good dynamic. The tone is generally dark, but it remains pretty hopeful. And if you're like nervous about like gruesome imagery or things like that, there's some of that kind of early on, but I don't know, by episode 4, that's pretty much all through. And it never lingers on those things. It's not about the blood, the crimes, it's about the courtroom and the, investigation behind it. So, yeah, this is a fan. I'm going to give this a fanboy worthy. I kind of wish I had gotten this in like a movie, like a nice little condensed 2-hour format, 2.5-hour show. But that said, I would have obviously lost a lot of character development and things like that. So, yeah, I really, really enjoyed this, and highly recommended. So
Very cool.
yeah.
Matthew Rice seems to do a lot of like very critically acclaimed projects.
Mm-hmm.
Like looking at his IMDb page.
Yeah.
Sweet. Should we move on to some news?
Let's do it.
Brett, thank you for watching all that stuff.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And providing us with a lot of awesome insight.
I am here to serve.
Okay.
Or something. I don't know.
That was my tennis serve.
All right. Well, let's get the big one out of the way first. The PlayStation State of Play event.
Did you ever watch the whole thing?
No, I did not. So I'm going to let you guys kind of talk about some games on there. The only big thing that came out of that for me was Control's DLC.
Dangerous thunderstorm alert.
Oh.
Sweet.
The Alan Wake DLC was finally confirmed.
The aw.
That's all I needed.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I needed. I didn't care about anything else they showed.
That trailer was very, very nice to watch.
It looks so. Control kind of has like this weird. Go back and listen to our Control reviews. Control has this weird like horror-ish type thing that it does, and like at times they really lean into it, and at other times they just kind of abandon it for the high octane action kind of game. Mm-hmm. This trailer looks like it's leaning into the horror, which makes sense with Alan Wake. Alan Wake was kind of a scary-ish game, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
But yes, that trailer was really freaking good.
It makes me want to steal Control back from Brett because he's never played it, and I want to play that game.
I know I should play it.
You should play it. The only other part that I watched of the state of play was the Godfall
Oh, we watched that together, yeah.
trailer deep dive video.
It was less of a trailer and more of like here's
some
very
things you can
boring
do.
demo. But we're going to explain some of the mechanics and stuff like that, which it didn't impress me, but maybe it's just I'm not the core audience. I don't know.
It
doesn't seem like a system seller, which I'm sure people walked away from Halo Infinite being saying the same thing, but
to me, that would be like if they would show off Destiny, it would just be, here's the tower,
yeah.
and here is the EDZ, and we're just going to walk around for a bit. I feel like that's what they showed.
Yeah.
They show a boss fight for a bit, but the dude playing is just getting bodied the whole time. Just does not know how to play the game, it looks like.
He was trying.
The dude in the video says you get rewarded for being aggressive, and the dude is just dodging the entire time. Like, I complained about this with the Halo, too. Show something interesting happening instead of just, here we are, walking around, here's a little bit of fighting.
Gameplay is so interesting because I don't think we typically realize it. Most of what we do in a game is not all that exciting.
Yeah.
It's that loop, that 30 seconds of like, oh, that encounter was great. Mm-hmm. And like in a demo, it's hard to like put those one right after another. A lot of times they do, but oh, hi Simon, Podcat. He just got his food. And so yeah, but what was interesting with Godfall is that I didn't feel like there was any of that demonstrated, and there wasn't that 30 seconds of fun loop that I got.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this game looks terrible.
It was so much more about just explaining mechanics and then showing a HUD-less, which I mean graphically.
Yeah, graphically it looks good.
Looks good, no. But like I don't know how I still don't. I didn't.
There's no
feel how it
moment.
played, right? I didn't get that sense of, oh, I'm not big into melee games anyway, so maybe that's a difference. But like when I watched Halo, I was like, okay, I can feel this warthog going over this cliff.
Yeah.
Do you think the looter slasher genre is gonna take off?
Looter games are all the rage right now.
'Tis true.
Thanks, Destiny.
Yeah, is there anything else from State of
I don't
Play
remember
worth mentioning?
anything.
The only other thing was the anniversary edition of Braid. Braid, this is the 20th anniversary. Great game from a long time ago, and it's cool that there's going to be a whole new audience to check it out.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's good. It's a puzzle-y game.
I'm not good at puzzles. Even just Zelda is a struggle for me.
Yeah. Well,
Those puzzles are not usually that all puzzly.
what else we got?
There's, I guess that's kind of trailer related stuff, so I'll stick with some trailers. We got some little baby teasers for Wonder Woman, actually, kind of advertising fandom coming later. We got one, we've seen it 1,000 times with Wonder Woman in her golden armor, except we actually got a voice line like, Barbara, oh my goodness, what are you doing? We got a cheetah roar. That's not what cheetahs sound like, though. That kind of annoyed me.
I did not
But
see
in
that one.
that defense, a cheetah's roar would not be very threatening.
Would not be intimidating.
So we'll let it slide. Yeah,
I didn't see that.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like a cat.
yeah.
I'll have to watch it when we're done.
And then the other one was Barbara, Minerva, Cheetah, Kristen Wiig, like
Walking up
running
the
through
stairs.
the street, going, "I want to be an apex predator." And it's like, ooh. So I'm getting real excited for Fandom for lots of reasons.
Oh yeah. Tee that one up.
And then I guess real quick, the other trailer that came out was an HBO Max original, Raised by Wolves.
Yeah.
If you want to see something weird, go watch this trailer.
That is a weird trailer.
It's Ridley Scott doing a sci-fi thriller horror something show.
Look, I'm on board. Just
It's-
because
it's
of
your
Ridley
boy.
Scott and sci-fi. So
Yeah.
say no more, but the trailer does look really, really
It looks weird.
I think it's I enjoyed that trailer the most when it was just doing montage of like shots I don't understand that have no context. Because when
Yeah.
it was trying to like be linear and have context, it didn't make sense to me. It was like, this is weirdly edited and put together, but whatever. Looks cool. I'll still be there for it. And that's streaming in September?
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's like September 15.
Yeah, I think that's right. Real quick, one last trailer. I don't know if you guys saw this. Judas and the Black Messiah.
Oh,
I didn't see the trailer. I saw the stills from it.
I did watch that trailer. That movie looks.
That looks
Good.
so good.
Oh my goodness. I was getting kind of revved up during that trailer. It looks tense.
That one's Daniel Kaluuya and who else?
I know Jesse Plemons is in it, so it's gonna be good.
Oh, he is. I was trying to think of who Jesse Plemons was, but yes.
The cop in Game Night.
Yeah.
Well, Lakeith Stanfield's in there again, of course.
I'm in. Got me. No, I saw the stills from it and I thought it looked really good. So
Yeah, you should go watch the trailer after it.
Yeah.
Looks really good.
I read the synopsis for it, and that was all I needed to read. Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, I'd watch this. That's awesome. I'm gonna bring up some sad news that was
Okay.
just brought to my attention. DC Comics was hit by like major layoffs this week, and DC Universe was hit the hardest. Their senior publisher was also laid off. I think, one, it sucks for those people who are now jobless. And obviously you hope the best for those guys that they land on their feet. But DC Universe, I think we've all kind of accepted that that's probably not going to last much longer. It's probably going to roll in some form or fashion into HBO Max.
Yep.
It makes me wonder what gets canceled and what doesn't. Like, what shows were pulling enough viewership to stay alive and go to HBO Max?
Not Swamp Thing.
Well, that didn't even make it off of there. Obviously, Stargirl got picked up for a second season. That one's rolling pretty good, and
I think that's more CW though.
it is, but it's still going to go to probably HBO Max the next day. Is how they're going to do it, kind of like they're doing it now.
Long as CW writes them a check, they'll let them keep
Yeah.
making it.
The one I really worry about is Titans, and does that continue? Granted, that show is not great, but I do enjoy watching it, and I really like the characters that are in that show. So I'd like to see more of it, but I don't think that gets a season 3 at this point. But then again,
I feel like the one that is safest is Doom Patrol because
yeah.
it's already
and Harley Quinn. It's already on HBO Max too.
yeah, but it hasn't been greenlit for season 3.
No, but animated, way easier
Yeah,
to
yeah,
produce
yeah.
in these times.
But here's the other thing too, with DC Fandom and the list of names that came out, the cast of Harley Quinn is there, and the cast of Titans is there,
And Doom Patrol.
and Doom Patrol. So, to me, that tells me they're getting more.
I
I
think
just don't know where at.
they'll all get a season 3 at the least. And that will be I think that would be it for Titans. I think that will be the end.
Man, I wish they would choose a better story to finish it on than Blackfire, but
I don't even think it will be that. I think they're going to keep teasing that.
And just move on to something else.
Yeah. But I think the ones that will eventually just become Max Originals by themselves will be Doom Patrol and Harley Quinn.
So what, we got 12 days till we get the confirmation that DC Universe is
Gone. Yeah.
Gonzo.
That's when we'll get it.
I don't know.
That's rough.
That's depressing news for a hype up event.
They'll spin it. They'll spin it as,
We're moving these shows to HBO Max.
yeah, look at all the things you're now getting with your superhero things.
You're gonna get your HBO Max budgeted superhero shows.
And also, here's some superhero Batman Matt
Yeah.
Reeves stuff that's also going to be coming to HBO Max
Yeah.
too to also fill that void.
Hey, over in the chat, what's up, Bow Rifle? Welcome to the stream.
But yeah, no, I mean it's sad, but we kind of mentioned Fandom. I figure we can jump into that.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
They revealed their list of attendees. Also, they've released some really cool little trailers from all the stars of the upcoming movies and shows. And man, this list is crazy.
It's packed.
It is insane.
I think they're saying 300 guest stars.
It is insane. I'm gonna wake up
Wow.
early that Saturday. I'm gonna get myself some coffee, and I'm just gonna sit down on the internet and see what I can find. And I don't imagine I'll get through all the content that's gonna be on there for. I mean, it's up for 24 hours. That's nuts.
I'm curious what they mean by it'll be up for 24 hours.
So my theory on how it will work is everything will already be on the site, and you just go to what you want to see.
I think some of the stuff, like maybe
They'll do some
an
live
artist's,
panels and stuff.
like, hey, let's all draw this, and I've got some questions I can answer. But I think like a Wonder Woman panel or a Batman panel, I think you'll have to tune in at a certain time.
I would think
And
that
then it
if
will
they
be
didn't
up.
ask you to submit questions this far in advance.
I think they have to do that though, because they can't have people in a chat just flying across. It's a way to organize it a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can prep their answers.
I don't know. Either way, you'll be able to watch it on
which
YouTube
is very
afterwards.
nice.
Very, that's helpful.
But yeah, we'll be getting trailers for Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad. I'm sure there'll be probably not a trailer, but some stuff for the Batman.
We'll get a teaser, like a 25-second teaser or something.
I bet we'll get a full look at Robert Pattinson in a bat suit, Zoe Kravitz in a Catwoman suit, maybe a Riddler peek.
We'll definitely get a Riddler peek.
Yeah, a bunch of posters. Dwayne The Rock Johnson is going to be there.
We'll get concept art for that one, I think.
Did you see his?
I bet we get a
separate
little
video?
teaser.
You think there's already
A teaser.
He had a different video that he posted.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
The one where it's like,
He's like just in a cave.
they wanted a hero, but instead they got me.
Yeah.
That one? Yeah. It's pretty wild. Luke and I were kind of going back and forth about this because there's a name on there, and it's right around that time of the cycle for NetherRealm Studios. Ed Boon is listed for this, and if you know who Ed Boon is, he is the lead at NetherRealm who makes Mortal Kombat and Injustice. And this is about the time we're probably going to get Injustice 3 announced.
That's one of my predictions.
Is it?
Yep.
Why did we let you keep that? It's literally right on the cycle of when it would have been released. 3-year cycle. They do it every time. Super excited for that. We got already one confirmation ahead of this that we'll probably get more information on. I don't know any of the people's names at Rocksteady, but I'm sure they're going to have a trailer, like a CG trailer. And Injustice probably will too. Mm-hmm. They'll release one of those super dope trailers they put out to some rap music.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And plus, Tom Taylor has been talking about his new comic coming out. Injustice Year Zero, I think is what it's called.
With that, isn't it with the Freedom Fighters?
I don't remember.
I know Wildcat's in it.
Yeah.
But
they've always kind of paired those at the same time. The comic coming out with the game.
that comic has grown into one of their most popular runs. Like it seriously took off. But no, it's awesome. With those announcements, we've gotten way more from DC than we have in the last 2 years, and it hasn't even happened yet. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yep.
What do you think about the that Suicide Squad title treatment?
Freaking awesome! I love it so much. Did you guys see the birthday video?
Yes.
Every
every
character was
character.
revealed. Idris is Bronze Tiger, 100%.
I'm so excited. Like, I'm having trouble sometimes just like keeping my excitement in. Like, I'll just be sitting at home and I'll just see like James Gunn will tweet something. I'll be like, super excited for DC fandom. It's gonna be lit, and I'm just gonna be like, yes.
We'll get a trailer for that.
Oh yeah.
We'll definitely get a trailer for that.
Yeah. No, it's been interesting
Wild.
with in relation to the Suicide Squad. Like, I really enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, and then like I was super let down by Guardians
I don't like Guardians 2.
2. So I have kind of been skeptical, but the closer I get, the more I just kind of like Luke. I just getting hyped up, man. Can't stop that train.
The hype train is rolling. I'm working the whistle at the front.
They see me rolling.
I'm shoveling the piss out of some coal.
And I'm honking the horn.
I'm already on the whistle.
What are you doing? Learn how the hype train works.
I don't know how hype trains work.
Okay, we're gonna stop the hype train for 10 minutes so
Can
you
I
can
hang
get
out
off
the-
stretch.
Can I hang out the window and grab people to bring them
Yes,
on? Okay,
absolutely.
I'm doing that.
All right, let's keep it moving because it's almost 9 and we're not even third topic. But yeah, I kind of mentioned it. Suicide Squad game confirmed at Rocksteady. Suicide Squad kills the Justice League, I think, is the rumored title. I got a sweet little poster. Target acquired. It was Superman with a crosshair on his head.
Poor
You can't shoot Superman,
You can with Kryptonite Bullet.
I guess.
So, did you guys hear this rumor?
Probably.
That Disney is no longer going to be updating their older films to have like new high resolution physical media releases.
Why? Because
Did that make sense?
So, like, what do you mean by older?
So they won't take like old movies.
Like, we
and
won't
make
get,
them
like-
4K,
right.
or Blu-rays.
Exactly.
So, like Robin Hood, the cartoon Fox one?
Oh
No.
man.
Like, think movies like Aliens or
Fox
the
movies.
Fox.
like, well, I mean, the Fox ones, the Disney ones too, but the Fox ones are the ones that I think most people care about. That's not confirmed. This isn't confirmed, by the way. I just kind of saw it making the rounds this morning. And so
I'm surprised
I thought we'd
Disney
bring
would
it
do
up.
that because they love selling things.
Well, I think
Well, it costs too much money to do it. That's why Mulan's $30, so they can fund that project.
it sounds like the rumors are kind of saying, well, they're gonna move that money to streaming infrastructure and those kind of things, and just another way to force people onto their service. But I don't know. Thoughts?
I don't know. I'm so spotty and like I just ordered the 4K. I pre-ordered the 4Ks of Back to the Future because I mean they're some of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
I'm not. What am I trying to say? I don't care. I guess.
Okay.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm fine with seeing an older version.
Well, and this is not going to affect new releases.
Yeah.
The latest Star Wars movie is still going to get its 4K release. And Pixar and all those. This is mainly those older movies, which there are a couple that are out there. I mean, there's probably a handful. There's probably a dozen that I would be like, oh, I don't have that. I'd like to get it on 4K, but will Blu-ray do? Yeah, Blu-ray will probably do.
Yeah. If
And,
it's
like,
at
how-
least Blu-ray, I'm happy with it.
Maybe you can help clarify this. How much does it improve it? The quality. Would you say?
They're pretty good remasters. I mean, a lot of those older films are shot on film, so they have a higher resolution by default, and we just didn't get to see that in our edit. I mean, look at 2001: A Space Odyssey when we went and saw it in IMAX. That film looked phenomenal,
So pretty.
and that was shot in the freaking
50s, 60s,
No.
50s,
No.
40s, 30s, 20s.
I think it's the 60s.
I'm gonna give up on you.
I'm so mad.
It's got to be the 60s.
Is it the right time yet?
68.
68. So close. 1 year off.
Nice.
So yeah, so that'll be interesting to see if that rumor is actually true or if that's just a load of baloney.
Garbage.
Yep, we'll see. Also, we got a Tron 3 got its title and director, although it's still not officially greenlit, I guess.
Yeah, Jared Leto pretty much confirmed it's happening.
Yeah. The director is Garth Davis, and this is like only his second
He did Lion.
theatrical
He did what?
film, Lion.
Oh, that's a good movie.
It is a good movie. It's a good. I think it's a fine choice. He's a good director. He just hasn't
Done a whole
done
lot.
a lot.
He's
so.
he's doing that Disney blockbuster to raise his status in blockbuster Disneyland.
You seemed really proud of that statement.
No, it's just Disneyland kind of made me feel happy for a bit because where dreams come true.
Indeed.
But no, he'll do good. I really, really like Lion, actually. That one was a really big surprise for me when that came out.
Yep. Sorry, you guys aren't saying anything. Do you have more?
I have more. But
Okay, keep going.
Did you see the rumored Xbox thing today? Xbox Series S.
Yeah.
Apparently, some controller packaging came out, and it said it was
The
compatible
worst kept secret.
with Series X and Series S. They've already
they
confirmed this. They just didn't confirm that it was called Series
Yeah.
S.
Is it the digital?
Yeah, it'll be I think it's the digital only, like lower tier version of the Series X.
Yeah, that'll be what it is.
So
So I would imagine we probably get a confirmation of that tomorrow. Like, kind of what they did with Halo.
yeah, they always confirm
They'll just
that
be like
stuff.
a little bit like
They'll show-
hey, we're excited to share more about this in 2 weeks.
Yeah, they'll say on August 17th or
Yeah.
something, and then it'll be next week, or I guess it'd be the 18th because it'll probably be next Tuesday.
Yeah.
They'll be like, next Tuesday we'll have a video or whatever, and they'll explain it and show what it looks like, all that good stuff.
Yep.
Reveal a price point a week before the console releases.
Man, I'm needing that price point.
Yeah. The other big thing, Apex Season 6 launch trailer.
Ooh.
Did you see this?
Yes.
It's very colorful,
very.
which is kind of
Oh, I
nice.
did
'cause
see it.
They've been pretty serious the last couple seasons. It's nice that they're going to take a step back and, go play Splatoon for a little bit.
Yeah.
It'll be good. New character, Rampart. I remember a month ago, there was a leak on, the skill set she would have. And if it's anything like that leak, we are all screwed. But she has a gun called, I think, Sheila. Sheila. It's her LMG minigun thing. And I can't wait to use it. It's going to be fun.
Dope.
I hope
Agreed.
her character shifts the meta towards crypto.
Yeah, it'll be. I think it's going to be one of the bigger seasons, I think, in terms of new things to do, because they've talked about crafting is going to be a thing.
Yeah.
You're going to have decals that you can collect.
And spray.
Sprays.
Yeah.
I think that was the kind of the point of the color in the trailer is ooh, it's going to be. We're making things more fun. And then the new the weapon coming from Titanfall 2 is the Volt.
Dude, I was literally talking about it a week before that trailer came out, and they were like, the Volt's coming. I was like, what?
Such a fun
'Cause I just
little
played
energy
Titanfall 2.
SMG. Yeah.
That gun is so good.
Yep. Back over to television real quick. I don't know if any of you guys are actually using Peacock. I downloaded it and have used it once.
Me too. I watched Psych.
They ordered a MacGruber series, and I guys don't know if you ever watched that show or that movie
I think I watched it once.
with Will Forte.
Is that the one where you can build anything, but it always explodes?
Yeah, well, kind of.
Is that an SNL thing?
Yeah, it was an SNL thing
Okay.
that they turned into a movie, and
now a
then
show.
now they're making it a show. I'm kind of excited about it. I like Will Forte a lot.
You can watch the first
Yeah,
two
yeah, he's coming back for it.
You can watch the first 2 episodes for free.
Ooh,
Yeah,
all right.
And then you won't be able to watch any more of it.
Aw,
Drop that Peacock money.
sad day.
Did you guys? I'm gonna go to Marvel Land.
You do it. We have. It's been so long since we've really hung out in Marvel Land.
They're just ready to release all of their stuff. I feel like, and they just can't.
Yeah.
But there's been a rumored. I'm feeling like it's pretty much signed on. Director for Captain Marvel 2.
Yeah.
Nia DaCosta, who is currently waiting to release her film Candyman reboot sequel.
I knew that name was familiar.
Yeah. And I guess Candyman has gotten a lot of praise
In test screenings.
in test screenings and critically so far, and who's gotten to see it. We all still have to wait. But it seems like it's a good choice.
Yeah.
First African American, maybe just African American to direct a Marvel movie?
No.
Coogler.
Coogler.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. African American woman.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if that was too specific.
First solo, I mean, as long as she doesn't get a co-director. First solo
Man, I hope not.
woman, female director in
Yeah.
MCU, right? Mm-hmm. Because Captain Marvel, they had co-directors.
The Bowden and Fleck,
Yeah.
I think were
They
their
had
names.
co-directors and 12 writers.
Simplify that. Bring that down. Other...
Real quick things. John Wick 4 and 5 are shooting back to back.
I saw that.
And then also, this is kind of just a funny thing. If go to Ryan Reynolds' Twitter and watch it,
my
watch his
gosh.
Green Lantern cut.
Please watch his
The
Green
Reynolds
Lantern
cut. Fantastic. A lot of good cameos in there.
That's a movie I can get behind. Well, we saw the whole thing, but
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
40 seconds long.
Yeah.
it's really
He
good.
had to make
though.
some tough cuts.
Yeah. Some very judicious cuts.
Right.
And then just the two big things with Disney and Apple.
Well, let's talk about the Disney one first.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
quickly move through that.
How much you guys willing to pay on top of a streaming service to watch a movie?
Not $30.
Depends on the movie.
So, yeah. So we got confirmation that Mulan is coming on September 4th to Disney Plus exclusively as a $30 add-on rent to
Now it's time to get
own.
mad.
I'm not mad though. No,
It's not quite a rental. It's not a traditional rental in that you only have 48 hours to watch it, but it's also not really to own because you have access to it as long as you subscribe to Disney Plus.
it's weird.
It's very weird.
So it's like DLC. You unlock it.
Yeah.
You unlock the ability to watch that movie.
The DLC is more expensive than the actual game. If you would own it for
well,
a
look,
month.
September 4th, Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remaster comes out, and that's only $10 more.
Yeah.
And that's 2 games. Are you kidding me?
So yeah,
So
thoughts.
I
This is
said
stupid.
it depends on the movie.
Sure.
I'm not really super keen on this. I think it looks good, but it's a remake of a movie I've already seen, a really good movie. So I'm not really just dying to see it.
Yeah.
I would rather see it in theaters because I have Regal Unlimited. I could walk in and just see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would prefer to see this in theaters. I can spend probably $3 is what I'd have to pay for an IMAX screening, as opposed to 36, 37. How much is Disney Plus?
7.
$7 a month.
So 37 if it was just the month.
Yeah.
And I have the bundle, so it'd be even more.
Right.
But like for something like Black Widow, if they do this, I would do it just mainly because of spoilers. Things would pop up all over. It would be impossible. It will get pirated, and then those will show up on Instagram.
Yeah.
And you can't mute stuff on Instagram. So yeah, I don't think I'll do it. I will do it if a lot of people want to go in on it, because then it will be relatively cheap.
Sure. Split it.
But the hard part with that is if you do that and then the person who bought it at their house will be the only one who has it.
That's fine with me. I'll probably never watch it again unless it is the greatest movie I've ever seen.
Yeah. You end up treating it more like a rent. Anyone who's not
Yeah.
the owner of the account essentially treats it like a rental. Like, I watched it once.
And then it will eventually be on Disney Plus.
And that's
will
the
be a
thing.
while.
It will. It will eventually come to Disney Plus.
And then I can watch it again.
Yeah.
Can I get it on Game Pass?
Oh, we're gonna get there.
The other thing is, I know a lot of people with large families who take their kids to see movies are pretty excited about this.
Yeah. 'Cause it's reasonable for them.
It is very reasonable for them.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for you, I guess, but for the single person who only pays for that one ticket, it's quite a steep incline in price.
Yeah. I think my biggest issue with it is just that it's locked behind a subscription.
Yes.
Right? Like there's not access to it through any other avenue other than you have to have a Disney Plus subscription.
Right.
Which to me is kind of outrageous and like unfair, even.
Well, there was the whole, ironically enough, a story we didn't mention was that this week the judges in California finally like overturned the Paramount rules that prevented vertical ownership of like distribution of media. So essentially, like Disney couldn't own a theater and only show Disney movies in that theater. Oh well, guess what? Now we're doing that. It's only on the internet.
Yeah.
That is a very
Slippery slope.
dangerous, slippery slope, in my opinion. I don't particularly have a problem with the price point. I think it's high, but I think in a market like this, if you think you have a quality premium product, you can attempt to charge a quality premium price.
I really wish it was, if you have Disney Plus, it was cheaper.
Yeah. Yes.
And then if you just want to pay $30, rent it, watch it, move on with your life.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yep.
You don't want to accidentally slip into a yearly subscription because you forgot you're subscribed to something.
Right.
But like, we all have Disney Plus, $20. Sure, whatever. That's better.
I paid $23 to watch Scoob.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
But it's just
The double
yeah,
payment
the
almost.
principle of locking something like this behind a streaming service.
You're
is just kind of
you're
crappy
charging
to
a
me.
premium price on top of locking it behind a paywall.
Yeah.
That's frustrating to me.
Yeah, it's just selfish.
Yeah.
As if Disney needs more.
Speaking of monopolies and selfish things.
Hey, my final news story before you go.
Oh, okay.
mad.
Project xCloud, September 15th.
Oh, yeah,
on
okay.
Android devices. The only one who has one here.
I'm so mad. Is it the right time?
Yes.
No, it was the Mulan thing.
Man,
We didn't even mention that Mulan was the movie we were talking about there.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got it wrong again.
You can be mad now, too.
Can't do anything right. Now I'm just mad at myself.
Yeah, so if you don't know what Project xCloud is, it is Microsoft's game streaming service that's bundled in with their Game Pass Ultimate subscription model. So essentially, it will let you stream your games from the cloud onto your device. That means your device doesn't have to be particularly powerful. And you can play like the latest, AAA games on a device that would not normally run it, because all it's doing is actually streaming the video while also taking input into account. So that is what xCloud is. But if you've clicked on this thumbnail or you've seen the artwork for this particular episode, you know that it's not coming to iOS. And boy, Apple, you're testing me.
Go
Brett
punch.
is the
You're
biggest
testing me.
Apple loyalist I know.
You should go grab an apple and just throw it in the ground really hard. Get out your frustration.
Take a bite out of it first and then throw it on.
Oh yeah.
This is like... This sucks because it's like the kryptonite to Phil Spencer's entire plan. Is like he wants to bring gaming to as many people as he possibly can, and lo and behold, Apple's going to try to stand in the way of that.
Yeah.
Because they don't want competition for Apple Arcade.
So, right. Yes.
You know what I mean? And
I
it's
do.
just,
Yep.
it's, to me, like, those audiences are very different.
So different. And
Like, it doesn't
honestly,
make sense to me.
there are certain games.
Apple Arcade's not getting AAA publishers to make games.
No, they're not. And there are games like, Fortnite and PUBG and Call of Duty, which have spent a lot of money to make custom phone-based versions of their game. Not every company can do that.
Right.
And I don't think that's necessary. They shouldn't have to do that. But that's not the audience they're trying to... Project xCloud is trying to capture. Project xCloud and Microsoft are trying to get this audience that are core gamers already, who want to play their games. They play their games primarily at a computer or a console, and they just want to take that game with them when they go somewhere. And it's super frustrating that Apple has these weak-ass policies that they're just trying to spin to prevent competition. Just like you said, Tyler. They kind of had a statement about how, like, oh, well, we can't, Apple can't independently review individual games through game streaming service. You don't review every gosh darn movie that comes up on Netflix. Do ya, Apple? No, you don't.
Or Hulu.
Or any of those other things.
It's a good point.
It's just a lazy way to try to cover it all up.
Well,
That's all
and
that statement is.
And I think they, my guess is Microsoft has drawn a little bit of a line in the sand. Part of it is revenue sharing.
Yes, absolutely.
Pretty much any subscription service that's on the App Store, Apple requires that you as the app to have an ability to subscribe through the App Store. You don't have to subscribe on the App Store.
But you have
that ability so that Apple can take a 30 or... I
was going to say, isn't it 30%?
It's a 30% cut until they've been subscribed a year, and then it's a 15% cut after that year.
I'm glad I never do that.
So if you subscribe to something, don't do it through your dang Apple account. Go subscribe through the App Store. Go subscribe on whatever place's website so that Apple doesn't get a cut, because Apple don't need that cut.
And that's the other thing too. So you kind of mentioned the workaround to avoid that cut for Apple. Mm-hmm. Part of me wonders if the workaround for this will be to just go to the streaming, like the site, almost like within their browser, and you'll be able to play your. And I don't know that this is going to happen, but you should be able to play your games there. You just won't be able to buy games. So you'd have to buy things on other devices. I was listening to a podcast today, and they were kind of talking about this, and they were talking about the Kindle app and how that works for iOS is you can read your books. You can consume your content. You just can't get more. So you have to do that on a different device.
Yeah.
So you'd have to do it on your computer or your actual Kindle. I bet there's a way when this thing launches that you can do that.
Valve had to do something very similar. There's a Steam streaming app or something, but they had to remove the ability to, purchase those games on this, because theirs isn't necessarily a subscription service, but it allows you to stream your game via the app. You just they wanted the ability to purchase those games in the app as well. They had to remove that. Facebook also launched their Facebook gaming app this week or last week, and had to remove game streaming features for the iOS version that's still in the Android version, simply because Apple is being a big old bleepity bleep on
big old butthole
on this with their policies. It's anti-competitive and it's anti-consumer, and when technology changes, policy should change with it.
As I've gotten older, I've learned that the biggest companies are typically anti-consumer.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Disney and Apple.
What did I do?
Exactly. So yeah, it's kind of disappointing because I think it's something like 43% of mobile devices are Apple products, and I think 46% of the market for tablets is iPads.
Yeah.
So like that's a big piece of the pie that now Project xCloud can't really reach.
Yeah.
Like efficiently at least.
Sure.
So it's, and those numbers, give or take, they're close.
Yeah.
I was reading it up today, but it's just remarkable that Apple can get away with this.
I think our maybe the one bright spot through the clouds is that there are a number of antitrust hearings going on right now in Washington. I talked about that a little earlier with how nothing ever gets done.
Yeah,
So
it's probably not going to get done.
Probably not going to get done. But Apple and some of those other big tech companies are a part of that. And we may just be able to twist those screws tight enough to get something to change. It probably won't happen right away,
But maybe.
but maybe over the next year or two.
And I think the outcry is loud enough that Apple hears it. I mean, obviously they've already released a statement,
Yeah,
so they're aware.
it's a weak statement.
Yeah,
But
well,
yes.
yeah. But I mean, hey, if the Snyder Cut can happen, I think anything can happen. So just
Can we get the?
can we get Project xCloud on iOS?
Can we
The xCloud cut.
Can we just like send a little a little paper airplane recruit flyer over to the Snyder Cut Colts and see if they'll help us?
Yeah, maybe.
They know how to, I'll give them one thing. They know how to make things move.
You'll have to bow to their Lord and Savior Zack Snyder, but maybe after that they'll help us out.
Yeah, exactly. No.
But no, it's really unfortunate. I mean, ultimately, the goal is to get games in more people's hands, and Apple's going to hinder that. So
Yeah.
Boo!
Yeah.
I'm so mad. That makes me so mad.
I was
don't know.
doing I was doing a little research earlier this week. If you are an iOS person, if all you've got is Apple iOS devices like me, mobile devices, if you have a PC, it doesn't matter.
Boo. No.
The Samsung Galaxy Tab A is their 2019 model is like $135, $140, and the beta or the xCloud beta was running great on it according to users on Reddit. So
let me raise a question.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one major game hardware company who has not done a handheld system, and that is Microsoft.
Why don't they just do their own?
Do you think this could lead into that? Look, just make a little handheld with an LTE chip and Wi-Fi capability. There you go. Done.
I have the solution. It's in my predictions, which is just partner with Nintendo.
Well, they are friends.
Partner with Nintendo. Make Game Pass available on the Switch. I know that it's not looking likely right now, but then you don't have to. The challenge is just the hardware development costs.
I raise you Outer Worlds on Switch and what that looks like. I don't know if the Switch could run those games.
But you're not running the games. You're just running the app.
Streaming it, yeah. You might melt your Switch.
Theoretically, it could
I don't know
run
how
your
that
app.
all works.
That app. But you're right. I don't think so. I don't foresee a mobile Xbox device in
You mean
the
Xbox Vita,
near
baby?
future.
Sticks would be like
Dude, the PSP was lit. Don't even.
I always
Talk
wanted,
trash.
I've wanted one
I
for
always
years.
wanted a PSP. But
I still
never
got my
one.
PSP.
Do you play it?
No, but it's a brick. You hold that thing, it weighs like 20 pounds.
I always thought the
You
PS
got the
Vita
disc.
was cool. It just didn't take
You
off.
got the disc cartridge thingy in the back. It's like. Ooh, ooh, I love that thing.
Yeah,
Like Medal of Honor on it.
NFL Street would be the game. Yeah.
I think Microsoft will probably spend a couple months really trying to work with Apple. I mean, they're gonna come to the table and say, Apple, please come to the. They're gonna be begging Apple to come to the table, and they're not in a position of demanding anything. Unfortunately, I wish they could be, because you're right. When you look at the mobile devices we have, they're more than powerful enough. People generally don't want a ton of devices. Gamers are maybe unique in that we don't mind having a bunch of stuff, but if you could make it work on iOS, that's what you would do. It would save you the most money because then you don't have to develop any hardware. Even their like controllers and stuff, they're partnering with Razer, and obviously their first party controllers work, but you can use that on Xbox or your computer. So anything at this point that they can do to cut back on development costs, they're going to try and do first. That was a very long-winded answer for your very simple question.
I don't even remember the question, but I'm angry about it. I don't have anything to contribute. I'm so uninformed, and also I don't play games on my phone. even if they were my Xbox games, I still want to play them. So,
It would be one of those things for me where it's like,
but I'm so angry.
I guess this is where it's weird for me too. Is like I don't think I would use it a ton, but I think it's just having the option is
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to, I haven't played Destiny 2 in a while, hop over and, because I haven't played the last season, go visit Xur when I'm at my parents' house or something like that. And buy my little exotic. I don't want to carry around an Xbox mobile. I just want to use my phone.
I want an
Just
Xbox.
take your Xbox with you to your parents.
I want an Xbox Vita.
Is it okay if I plug this in, Mom?
Got my briefcase. Oh, Brett, you're carrying a briefcase now. Mm-hmm.
You're gonna need a semi truck to carry that fridge around when it's in a Series X.
Dude, heck yeah.
Just get a pick 'em up truck.
Beep, beep, beep. What'd you bring? My Xbox.
Got like a trailer behind your car.
So I did not ask any ask for questions on Twitter this week, and I don't think we got any.
We got one like late last week, but
Oh, did we?
We answered it, I think.
Oh, yes, that's right. Nick, over on Twitter asked, are you paying $30 for Mulan? The answer between all of us is
Probably not.
individually no. We wouldn't do it by ourselves.
Collectively, maybe.
Maybe.
I know Dana wants to watch it.
I bet we could get my sister and my parents, because we all have the same Disney Plus, to chip in too. Then we're dividing it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ways.
$6. Not bad.
It's not bad.
I got $6. I can afford that. That's $1.
So we can have a
less.
movie night, and then they can watch it.
I'll make my family pay too because they use my Disney.
Oh, there you go. See, bringing it down to $5.
Yeah.
So,
Otherwise, I won't let them watch it. I'll delete Disney Plus from all their stuff. I will break into their house
I'm gonna delete all your things.
and delete all of my passwords that
makes
I
sense.
definitely don't share.
Definitely not.
I
No,
don't share them.
that would be illegal. And we don't do illegal things here until next week.
I've never watched a pirated movie.
I have.
I don't even know where to look. What's a pirate? I'm so angry.
I've watched those
disaster.
I've watched those Johnny Depp movies. Does that count?
Black Mass?
No.
Secret Window?
From Hell?
No,
Edward Scissorhands?
Alice in Wonderland.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Oh,
Oh, what's worse? Those Alice in Wonderland movies or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, simply because it
Didn't
took
need to
something
happen.
wonderful and it attempted to destroy it.
No, it didn't. Oh, I do not like that original.
You don't like the original?
No, it's
I like
creepy.
the original.
He's crazy.
It's
I'm
creepy.
with you.
It's a little creepy, but that's part of the charm.
Not for me.
Anyways, we should get out of here.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. If you are listening, if you could go to iTunes and rate us so Apple knows to use our algorithm, the algorithm to share us with more people, that'd be fantastic. If you watch us over on YouTube, subscribe so you never miss an episode. And
Yeah.
Do you think if they review us, Apple will be like, oh, they talked about us, they didn't like us. Let's help out Microsoft.
Let's delete him from the apps.
Yeah, I'm probably it's probably the second option.
Oh, darn.
We'll just have to go be exclusively on Google. But yeah, until next week, thank you everyone for watching and listening, and we'll see you later.